Hello, everyone. This is day 18 of 21 days of prayer and fasting. We're coming down to the finish line. We're so excited that you're here with us today, and I'm excited to be here with a friend of mine, Ryan Joyner. He is our family ministries pastor and our middle school pastor. And today, Pastor Ryan, we're going to talk about the body of Christ.
Yeah,
The
for
body
sure.
of Christ.
I was thinking about it, and I was looking at 1 Corinthians 12, 25 and 27, which just speaks to it so clearly, saying, so that there should be no division in the body, but that its parts should have equal concern for each other. If one part suffers, every part suffers with it. If one part's honored, every part rejoices with it. Now, you are the body of Christ, and each one of you is a part of it. It's such a direct example of how our brain and heart can't function by themselves. Our hands are in such great danger if our eyes aren't working. We function meant to as a whole body working together in unity.
Yeah, I've often been called the pinky toe of the body of Christ. Yeah.
Really? Okay, great. I hope you don't get stubbed too often.
No, hopefully not too often. Not too often. But that's an interesting concept, and how we should be working in unity together.
Yeah.
But I think it's kind of almost comical how we actually do church together in some regards, in big church,
Right.
in the worship service. So instead of that, unity, interacting and engaging with each other, we sort of stand shoulder to shoulder. And we're interacting with God, and we're seeing the platform and all that, but we're not necessarily engaging with each other throughout the entirety of the service. You know what I mean? I've just always found that to be very, very interesting. I think we miss out a little bit.
I completely agree. So I was thinking about it in these terms. My papa, he got an iPhone, and he was so excited. He had it about 6 months, and he was showing it off to me and showing me what all he could do. And he was pumped. And impressively, he'd got his email set up. So he was getting emails on his phone. He got his voicemail set up. He was, making phone calls on it, obviously. But that was about it. And so I was like, hey, Papa, did you realize that there's a camera on this thing? And he was like, seriously? And I was like, yeah. And, there's apps where you can get news and watch your shows and movies. And, there's a calculator and there's reminders and notes. And he's like, whoa, how do I do all that? He didn't even have an iTunes account to download a single app.
Yeah.
Like, no apps on it. And he was settled. He was fine with that. He was like, oh, well, I don't really need all that. And I think that as a church, a lot of times, we kind of treat the body of Christ like that. We settle for a smaller purpose, to show up, to stand shoulder to shoulder, and then leave and be done.
Yeah.
And we're missing what all the church is really meant for. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's so much more that we are meant for. And I don't want us to miss that. We're meant to be one.
Yeah.
Like, we're meant to be as close as God the Father and God the Son. I mean, that was his prayer, that we would be one as he and the Father are one. Mm-hmm. I mean, that was his desperate desire, one of his final prayers on earth. And that changes everything.
Yeah, it sounds like you're talking about like a grander purpose.
Yeah.
Like fully realizing what we're meant to do, what we're meant to be. And I mean, I think ultimately, too, that leads to how we interact with the lost,
Yeah, it does, because when we're united, when we're connected like that, then people notice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a desire in all of us to be a part of a community, to be a part of a group of people who know us for our true selves and love us for our true selves. And when they see us doing that, caring for one another, like going over the top to keep each other accountable, to share love, to open up our homes to one another, to share our finances, our care and compassion, all those things to support each other, they see that and they long for it.
Yeah.
And it draws so many people to Christ.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
But that's a level of unity that's pretty deep.
Yeah, so I was about to say that sounds awesome, really awesome, and I'm like a borderline introvert.
Right.
Like the older I get, I'm turning into that old hermit, that just wants to stay home all the time. So that sounds noble and awesome and biblical and extremely messy. and a little bit scary,
It is.
to a person like me.
It's so messy.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I see it over and over in the students when the groups start to get really close like that.
Right.
There's a little drama that pops up.
Yeah, sure.
Every time. There's a little bit of confusion that pops up. And I feel like Paul addresses that so directly, knowing it's going to come. In Colossians 3:12 through 14, He says, "Since God chose you to be holy people that He loves, you must clothe yourself with tenderhearted mercy, kindness, humility, gentleness, patience. Make allowances for each other's faults and forgive anyone who offends you. Remember, the Lord forgave you,
Yeah.
so you must forgive others. Above all, clothe yourselves with love, which binds us all together in perfect harmony."
Yeah.
Absolute perfect
That's
harmony.
incredible, and so challenging. How can we do this,
I read that verse and I legit start to wonder,
Yeah.
am I kind like that? Do I forgive others when they offend me like that? Do I care and reach out and text the people that ask me to pray for them? And do I really pray for them? And do I do more than pray for them? Do I offer up, my financial help, my emotional care? Am I available to people to care for them? That is so important. And I'm challenged by that.
Yeah, and the reality of it is we're called to be Christ-like. He forgave us, so we forgive others. He's the example for us. We're almost out of time, Ryan.
Yep.
So final thoughts.
During this fast that we do it together, let's just connect to God's love so deeply so that we can offer that love to each other and be as united with one another as God the Father and God the Son are united.
It's a great goal, great challenge. Thank you, everybody, for being with us today for day 18 of 21 days of prayer and fasting. We'll be back tomorrow as we creep closer to the finish line of our fast. Hope you're having a great fast. Hope the Lord's blessing you very, very deeply. We'll see you back here tomorrow.